Welcome to Fatherhood for the Rest of Us with Brandon Handley. Because you're already great at everything else, why not fatherhood too?
Hey, podcast listeners, Facebook friends. Today we are on, and we're going to do, let me get myself ahead of here. We're going to do Gurus 8. We're going to do Gurus 8, or 7 and 8 of the Lord Dattraya and his 24 Gurus. For those of you who have been following along, sorry it took a little longer for me to get here today. I had to eat some lunch. I was hungry. Anyways, so thanks again for tuning in today. Podcast listeners, if you haven't hopped on to the Facebook Live to see these happen live, you can do so. I'll be doing them at noon probably until, I don't know, what's the date? Today is the, for probably most of August 2017, and you'll be able to catch me doing those around lunchtime, 12 p.m. EST. If I don't have some other obligations, I'll pop in here and I'll finish up this Lord Dattraya and his 24 Gurus. And the premise of this whole thing is, I just think it's a really cool story. I don't even know the whole story, but what I do know is that it's a big one. One of the primary, I wouldn't say primary, but just one of the big teachings in Hindu or Indian. I don't even know if it's Hindu. Like I haven't probably done all the research I should do, but that's not the important thing here. The important thing is that it's a cool story. Get your mind thinking. Got my mind thinking. I haven't even gone through the entire 24 yet, and that's the other premise here. That there's 24 gurus. I'm looking to read them and learn them at the same time you are. I'm looking to give my exact response at the immediate time that I have it. And I'm looking to learn more and try and become more aware of my surroundings and learn more from what surrounds me versus always going out and looking for something. Maybe that's what this is. But the other thing is I think that this definitely ties into fatherhood and things that we could also be teaching our children. It's a great story to go through with the children, which I'll do after I go through them all, or maybe share one or two with the boys. Anyways, so Lord Dattraya is considered. I'm just going to read off. Where is it? Read off over here, and then we'll move on to Gurus 7 and 8 and get those done for today. Again, I'm just excited to be able to do this. I think it's kind of fun, where we can all learn together at the same time. That's it, raising consciousness together, if you will. Here we go. So Lord Dattraya is considered among one of the 24 of the Vishnu's incarnations. Lord Dattraya was born Rishu, Atiri, and Anasya. The name Dattraya can be divided into two words, Datta meaning giver and Atri means sage. Lord Dattraya is considered a guru of environmental education, gained enlightenment by his observation from surrounding, which provided him 24 gurus. These gurus explain the problem of the mundane attachments and teach the path towards the spiritual self-realization of the Supreme. The core message of Lord Dattraya is never judge surface appearances, but always seek a deeper truth. And with that, we'll click that one off and we'll go on over to Guru number 7, which is the sun. And I'm going to read this off for us. The reflection of the sun can be seen in many objects, but the actual sun is one and undivided. That teaches the Supreme Soul is one and reflected into various bodies, but the soul is not body itself. The sun evaporates water and returns back to earth in the form of rain without any attachment or entanglement with its act. Similarly, the sage can accept material things with his senses, but at the appropriate time he should give these things back as an act from sense of duty without getting attached to material sense objects. So, again, this is my very first time reading these, so I'm just going to kind of absorb them for a second. I'm going to reread the first part. The reflection of the sun can be seen in many objects, but the actual sun is one and undivided. That teaches the Supreme Soul is one and reflected into various bodies, but the soul is not body itself. What are some of the objects? I mean, it talks about here the sun evaporating the water, but some of the you see the sun in the sky is one. You see the sun reflected off of the. I'm looking out my window. You see the sun reflected off of the leaves outside. You see the sun nourishing the leaves outside, and the sun is in a great number of different things. You see the sun's reflection in the. I've got ponds over here. You see the pond. You see the sun blowing through and reflected into. I love rainbows, right? And who doesn't? What's up, Bill? Bill Clinton has joined. People may say the Bill Clinton. I said, well, his name is Bill Clinton. Anyways, thanks for joining, Bill. So if you see the sun reflecting itself in a rainbow, the rain coming down, and that's many various bodies being reflected there. However, it's still one soul and various bodies, but the soul is not the body itself. So everything that you see or you are, I would say, and the sun is. The sun, just because the sun is up there and it's that one object, everything that emanates from the sun, everything that the sun gives, the heat, the light, the life, and everything that it puts out is outside of its actual body. That's how I'm gonna take this one for today. For that immediate moment, that's gonna be my immediate response. And the sun evaporates water and returns water back to earth in the form of rain without any attachment or entanglement with its act. Similarly, the sage can accept material things with his senses, but at the appropriate time he should give these things back as an act from sense of duty without getting attached to material objects. I mean, how often in our world do we gather things and just kind of stack them and hold on to them? And it's like, why this pile of stuff? We've gone out and we've taken it from the world for a moment, and we can enjoy it, but we can also just kind of give it right back. We don't need these things, these objects from anyone. What software you use and do the videos? It is Open Broadcaster software, Taryn. If you want, I'll send you a link to it. You can check it out. It's pretty cool. Thanks. You try and you give back what you can as an act from sense of duty. This is something that the giving back in a sense of duty. I feel like the podcast is part of this. I feel like the videos are part of this. I feel like there's always more that we can. I feel like I've accumulated too many material things and over life and time without giving back. And I feel like that's kind of what this is saying. The world's given me, I believe personally, like a large number of great material items, goods, life that I feel like I could give much more back, and in the sense of duty, without getting too attached to material sense objects. And this is something I feel like that I think I've spoken to this before, but without getting too attached to material sense objects. I moved around a lot growing up as a child, and so I was actually afforded the opportunity to leave a large number of things behind, to always have to leave things that I loved behind, not just the people, but there would be things that I simply couldn't bring with me. And that sense of it's kind of a freeing sense I'm not sure if this is exactly ties into what's going on here today with the sun, but when you return the water back to earth, so being able to, even, or maybe it's about being altruistic and giving without being attached to what it is that you're giving. Feel free, hey Bill and Taryn, thanks for joining, guys. Feel free to kind of say how this is impacting you. What are your thoughts when you see these words written in this way? What are your thoughts? What's the impact that the Guru number 7 is having on you? In the comments. And so I'm going to go ahead and flip over to Guru number 8 today as we cover in 7 and 8. Guru number 8 is Pigeon Bird. Once a devoted pigeon couple along with their baby lives happily in the jungle. The couple loves each other too much, also take care of their infant babies. The love among them is ever growing each day. One day the couple went to bring food for their children, and meanwhile a bird hunter came to their nest and caught the children in a net. When the couple returned back, they saw their children were caught in a net. Unable to live without their children, the couple foolishly also jumped into that trap of the net. The bird catcher returned home with the complete catch. So for me, if I'm reading this, and my interpretation would be, look, immediately as a father, right? Immediately, I'm like, yeah. If my children are caught up in something, I've got a strong chance in getting caught up in it as well. And as we have so much not invested in our children, but we've got such this overwhelming sense to, take care of them and want to be with them wherever they are. And sometimes we get caught up in the mess that they're in. And it's very easy for the family to tie all their emotions together and be in that place with each other. And, for example, this morning, like my oldest was just having a tough time. And, the whole family, became, I wouldn't say embroiled in it, but we're just like, all right, dude, let's step back and maybe tear away some of the emotions and look at things objectively. That's what I'm going with on this one, and I'm kind of excited actually because this one has it tells us what it says. This teaches. This one says it teaches. And I have not read it. Again, these are all things that I have not read, seen in entirety, and I'm again just excited to share them with you and learn with you. Teaches. The pigeon story warns against developing obsessive love or attachments in the transient material world. The sage would refrain from attachment after attaining the human body, which is the open door to moksha, liberation. A door to God realization. Even after being born as an intelligent living being, one is caught in the clutches of possessiveness and brings about his own spiritual destruction. Excessive attachment and love with anything except wisdom is the cause of bondage. Wow. We're jumping from pigeons to this, but there you go. We've got that's exactly what this is. Though we've got these surrounding items and stories that illustrate humanity and ourselves, and a door to God realization. It's interesting, right? Because we sit there and I think yesterday, and I'm not sure how many people don't know that, the Gandhi line of learn like you're going to live forever, because sometimes I know that myself anyways, all this learning is kind of blowing up my brain, and sometimes I need to slow down, and that's different from wisdom. So I think that excessive attachment and love without anything except wisdom is cause of bondage. So what exactly is wisdom in this sense is I guess the question, and I don't have except for just knowing the right things to do, when to do those things, how you go about doing it. Wisdom, is the knowledge of the right things, of I mean, I would say excess. So attachment to me is like the things, the material things, and I guess in this story, it's like attachment to even material things being inclusive of those that you love, those that you care about, and that can I think that I don't know of too many people who would find themselves in the same state of mind, at the same place, if their children, their wife, their family members pass away. I guess excessive is the key word here. What is excessive, and how is that determined? That's this one. I'm gonna probably let my head just kind of continue to wrap around. It's a definitely interesting concept to me, and it's foreign. It's a foreign way of thinking for me, not simply because it comes from another country and culture, but because it's a fresh story. It is just now been placed before me, and I've got these thoughts that this seems like the type of thing that you could lay next to your bed, pick it up, read it, and sleep on it, and let it kind of soak in. This is why I'm enjoying, and I find this 24 Gurus story to be so exciting, because I'm learning something new, and again, I'm doing it with you right together, and it's outside of our let's say school class, schoolwork, our jobs, somewhere else that we can get together and talk about something else that's not going to relate to how many hours did you work this week, when's your next meeting. This is for you just as much individually, directly for you, versus for I guess a material gain or material sensibilities. I feel like we're often weighed down with all these material drags on us, that even if we were to be given the ability to open up our wings and fly, we might not be able to open up our wings and fly because we've got so much of this material weight and baggage. And that's what I'm loving about reading these stories and sharing them with you. And again, it's given me an introspection on who I am and how I get to present new stories with my children. And Meg, my wife, she joins in. Hey Daryl, hey Cindy, what's going on? Just finishing up, wrapping up the 24 Gurus. I'm doing 7 and 8 today, so make sure that if you go ahead and rewind and check it out. And if you haven't, guys, listen to this whole one just yet on the Facebook page. You have the opportunity. I'll be posting them, reposting them to YouTube and my podcast at fatherhoodfortherestofus.com. Guys, again, I'm just enjoying doing this, sharing this with you, learning together. Hopefully, you take a look at some of these stories and you can tell me how they're impacting your life, what you see in it yourselves. I would love that. I would love to just see kind of what perspective, new perspective, old perspectives that it gives you. Because I'm genuinely curious, how everybody's impacted or by these, and You can leave some commentary here on the Facebook Live, or you can head over to fatherhoodfortherestofus.com. Sign up for the episode when it pops up there. It should be up there. It'll probably be up there sometime next week. And leave some feedback there. Download the podcast. I just released a really great interview today with Cardiff D. Hall. He's a best-selling Amazon author in the personal development space of on the productivity and business area. Really great story. Really awesome dad. He's got some awesome things he's doing with his daughter that he shared as well. And that's a pretty free and awesome course that Cardiff is offering. And again, you can find that from today's podcast. If you're listening live, or if you're reading it later, August 11th, Cardiff D. Hall podcast is going to have a couple really good freebies from Cardiff. And then, go ahead and sign up for the weekly mailer. You can go ahead and sign up for the Fatherhood for the Rest of Us weekly mailer that comes out once a week. That's why it's called weekly. What is the software you're using? Question. I'll leave a link and some information. It's Open Broadcaster Studio, I want to say. I'll post it in here too. Thanks, Matt. Thanks for joining. And so go ahead, sign up for the weekly mailer, join the list. I'm really only going to be sharing stuff that I feel like is going to be impacting, fatherhood from my perspective, but worth sharing. I'm not just going to go like today. I'm digging deeper. I'm not just taking the surface level stuff, guys. I'm looking for stuff that can have a true, hopefully, impact on your fatherhood, your parenting, or just anything like that. And without further ado, I'm going to pop off, guys. Again, thanks for joining. And I'll leave you with the outro if I can find it. Let's see in here. Leave you with the outro and see you later, guys.